Gentlemen, everyone, welcome to the 2025 Kickstart Invitational podcast, where we dive into the soul of the Kickstart Invitational. I'm, of course, your host, Kyle Steffi, alongside Justin and Carter McPhail. In each episode, we'll be bringing you the latest developments, expert analysis, behind-the-scenes interviews, exclusive insights. The Kickstart Invitational. McPhail brothers, how we doing?
Doing excellent, Kyle.
Thank you.
Recurring guest of the program, the big star of the Kickstart Invitational in general. Before we introduce him, Carter, why don't you give us an ad read here from Dunham's?
Oh, thank you, Kyle. Like always, this episode is proudly sponsored by Dunham Sports, your one-stop destination for all things sporting goods. Whether you're into hunting, fishing, or loving every day, Dunham's has everything you need to elevate your experience in the great outdoors. Get ready to step up your game with Dunham's exclusive offer. Use code Kickstart25 for an amazing 20% off on all golf gear and accessories. From top-of-the-line clubs and balls to stylish apparel, Dunham's has it all at prices you cannot beat.
And talk about having maybe the most Dunham's target customer in the call with us right now. He is a 3-time Kickstart Invitational champion, 2-time first overall pick, current special advisor for the conductors, former draft analyst of the Kickstart Invitational podcast, was replaced this last year. Former Ferris State Bulldog hockey player, serial killer of deer and walleye population, and has a secret talent of farting with some elite acoustics sitting on a cooler. Please bring a warm welcome for Brendan McLaren.
How's it going, gentlemen? Thanks for having me on.
First question to all of our guests. You've been asked a couple times, I think, but what does the Kickstart mean to you, Mac?
Means everything to me, you know. Only golf tournament I'm in every year. Biggest golf tournament I'm in every year. And then just the camaraderie amongst the guys, the group chat, podcasts, you know. Definitely gives me something to look forward to every spring and kind of kick off the golf season for me. So,
Mac, I've gotten the pleasure of getting to know you over the years, and it's fair to say, at least from my perspective, you're a big glue guy of the Kickstart Invitational. We have some new additions to the trip so far. They've all been on the pod, I think. Any initial thoughts? First impressions on the 3 new guys, Liam, Nate, and Joey?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the pods. They all seem like great guys, and I think they'll be a great fit for the trip and on the course and off the course. I mean, seems like it's gonna be a good time with those fellas.
100%. Any one of them you could see being a future MVP just by looking at them?
I don't want to give that away yet because it might come up a little later on.
Guys are going to have their cards close to the chest the rest of the podcast season because of what Parker did on his episode to Liam and Nate.
Nobody wants to just blurt anything out that they haven't researched themselves now at this point.
I think it's starting to rub off because guys are realizing that they could potentially be captains in the future, and they don't want to, build any barriers or dig any trenches that they might have to go back on in the future and potentially, sabotage their reputation.
We might have to put some of that blame on Chase for his, being such a well-polished captain in the media. Guys saw that, and it's definitely catching on.
And a 180 from Preston too, because Preston wasn't holding back any punches by any means.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all. I think we'll get to that too. Later on.
Mac, you were, I don't know if this is public Kickstart knowledge or not. Mac, were you ever asked to be a captain at one point?
Yeah, I was a couple times.
One time.
Yeah, one time.
I
was asked this year. I got too much shit going on. I got a big capstone project going on at school, working, reffing, and then getting ready for my wedding. That's 2 weeks after the Kickstart. So
Carter, note the order that was listed.
Yeah,
I got
and
right
I
here.
want to clarify. We asked Brendan to be the captain last year.
Yeah.
In which his reply was, "Yes, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to come because of my internship." So we just kept those. He was the captain, and we were just keeping that. And then he's like, "Hey, like my internship, like I can't come." So then we pivoted. And then, 72 hours before the first tee time, Brendan was like, "Oh yeah, why don't I ask my boss if I can come?"
It was the most absurd thing of all time.
And just
okay. To be
save the trip.
fair, I gave you lots of heads up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like exactly how you should have done it.
I think it was literally the night
And we were-
that I signed my internship. So
Yeah, you said I gotta wait until my internship, and we waited. And when you said you couldn't come, we were like, yeah, then we moved on. That's exactly how it's supposed to go.
yeah.
It was then hilarious that we announced that Parker was filling in, and we were looking for someone else. You texted me and was like, "I thought we already had a fill in," and we are like, "No, Bomber dropped out," and you're like, "Oh, I can probably come."
Well, yeah.
After
And
6 months of us being like, Brendan can't come because his internship, he was like, "Oh yeah, boop boop boop, text my boss, I'll talk to him tomorrow. Yeah, I'm coming."
yeah. Well, I did also hadn't even met him yet, and he's a golf freak, so that helped.
Right. Obviously, if you would have known the guy
Right.
6 months before,
Yeah.
then this year, yes, we did reach out to Brennan and ask him if he would be interested in being a captain.
Right.
We had
Which
the
is
idea. We actually, similar to the situation with Mac last year, Jay was in the running to be captain, at least within the committee and the president of the Players Association. We had thought Jay was going to be captain since July. It felt like, at least from my perspective.
I drove home last year with the cup thinking, now I have to face my brother.
Yeah, it felt pretty clear. And then when Jay said he couldn't, we had reached out to Mac and Tricky, actually with the initial idea of having them do a presidential debate to coincide with the election. But then Mac just couldn't do the captainship this year, so it made the decision pretty easy.
That's like his favorite political icon. He just dropped right out of the race.
Yeah.
This is all not to take anything away from Tricky. I'm sure he'll be a great captain. Now that you've just exposed that he was at least the third choice.
What'd you say?
Okay, we can't have that on YouTube this early in the recording.
Chad, it was a toy.
Yeah. It's not
With
loaded.
an orange knob at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
All right, let's
Blur
move
that
on.
out, Kyle.
Kyle, next question.
Any takeaways from the tee times that were announced this week, Mac? Anything notable to you, or were they just numbers?
I think the only thing I remember is the mines is 10:15. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then a lot of question marks on one of the courses. So
Speaking of that other course, any initial wants, hopes, dreams as to what you think between seems like a three-headed race between, what is it, Stoughton Bray, the Meadows, and Thornapple. Any thoughts, preferences on any of those?
I played Thornapple in the practice round last year. I thought it was a good course. Like, I'd play it again for sure, but is it Kickstart worthy course? I don't know. I thought a couple holes were awesome and a couple holes were just like, average. Stoughton Bray, never played it, but all the pictures and everything look phenomenal, I think. And then I played the Meadows one time with Justin and Carter
And Chase.
Yeah, and Chase. I liked it a lot. But it's kind of same thing as khaki, university course. Is it Kickstart worthy? I don't know.
Jay, any thoughts on khaki?
No comment.
Wow.
It's a lovely university up there at Ferris State. I'm sure that Bob Daniels is a big khaki fan. Everybody will be sad to see him go. Yeah, maybe he'll take khaki with him. Not sure. But still, perhaps. I don't know.
Come on.
Well, listen, everybody's heard Max intangibles. How about I get to some tangibles? You know, we didn't mention that Mac was 2024's most improved player. He had a 31 stroke improvement from 2023 to 2024 net. Quite impressive. I think that's like the Tigers made cut streak. That's like Cal Ripken's Ironman streak. I don't know if that's something that can be touched by people going forward. Coming
Not by
down those last few holes last year, maybe you might make the argument that Esser and Cody were maybe, juicing their numbers to maybe make a run at it, but maybe that might stand the test of time, I think, Mac. And outside of that, he's got an all-time record of 5-5-2, including being 1-1-1 in the singles. I think everyone's pretty, they know about his prowess in the team matches, how volatile and how deadly he can be in the four balls, but has a pretty respectable singles record as well. I think a lot of guys would be proud to be 1-1-1 after 3 years of playing, for sure. Mac, do you have any comments on your record? It's really balanced for somebody that's got 3 Kickstart Cups.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm pretty much perfectly 500, I guess, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I feel like it could be a little better. The second year is bad year for me. Looking back, don't really count it. So it's in the rear view. See ya.
Brushed it aside.
Moving
She's
on.
gone.
I actually think it's more impressive that he's 5-5-2 when he has a season of having the worst Kickstart year of anybody in the history of the Kickstart, with all due respect. To have that year and to still be 5-5-2, I think is very telling as to how valuable Mac is.
Yeah,
I had a good partner.
Chase went 0-4 in year one. So people forget.
People
They do.
forget.
They do. He's had a strong showing as well. Mac, do you have a favorite singular memory from the Kickstart Invitational, the 3 years that you've been in it?
Oh gosh. Let's just getting a picture with that cup every year. No, I don't know. No, like certain memory sticks out, but just always pulling up to Pilgrim's Run the morning of singles or whatever, mid-morning, just pulling in through those gates. Love that course. Singles are fun. And then just all the antics and hanging out with the fellas.
How about do you have a favorite shot that you've ever hit in the Kickstart that comes to mind? Or maybe even one that you saw from somebody else in your group?
Oh, I recorded Cully's last year between the pine trees. I think Carter, were you up ahead of us?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I don't remember either, but yeah, Cully hit a nasty shot between the two pine trees, and like I think he ran it all the way up on the green. It was nasty.
At Diamond Springs, the famed centerline pines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last year, my drive on 18 at Pilgrims was nice too.
Yeah. I had that in my mind. You almost getting it on the front edge there, over the water, right in line with the flag,
Yeah.
with the match on the line. That was
Mine is Brendan's up and down on 18 on the 36th hole at Diamond Springs last year
A little saucy with it.
to secure our point.
that was good as well. And how about your favorite course? You have a favorite course of the 3 that we've played so far?
So I feel like it's got to be Pilgrim's Run.
Yeah.
I like them. I like them all though. Really, like I love those courses. So interested to see what the 4th one brings. And I am a big fan that we are doing 18s on throughout 4 days, so double
Yeah.
header. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Kurt, I would say Mac the best out of everybody on this trip. It's only fitting that you run us through his player profile. What do you got on 3-time champ here?
Yeah. Brendan McLaren enters the 2025 Kickstart as one of the most decorated players in Kickstart history. 3-time champion, 2-time first overall pick. Brennan's legacy is already well established. 2024 added another accolade, like we mentioned, being the most improved player, solidifying his place as one of the most dynamic competitors in the field. Off the course, Brennan's preparing for one of the biggest milestones of his life so far. He'll be wed to Kennedy Harper Rood on June 7th, 2025 in Shelby, Michigan. With wedding bells on the horizon, he's going to be looking to add just one more championship to his resume before tying the knot. Brennan's competitive edge was built on the ice. He served as the captain of the Fair State Bulldogs in the 2023-2024 season, leading by example with hard-nosed, relentless playing style. During his time at FSU, shared the locker room with me, Jake Transit, and Connor Fedoric. Brennan built a reputation as a fierce leader and dependable teammate. Our Western Michigan scout, Dave Sensor, had this to say about Brendan. He's a competitor with a lot of grit to his game, just a hard, fast, north type of guy. He's not afraid to go off the glass with it. Brennan has unmatched leadership, championship pedigree, and a tenacity on the course. Brennan is once again a force to be reckoned with. The question isn't if he'll contend, it's who can stop him. Welcome back, Brendan, and we're excited to have you for 2025.
nice, Carter. I gotta have a word with that scout of yours.
You know where to find him. Riding his bike
Yeah.
down from Cadillac.
Using his government name. They're dangerous.
Baby.
Christ.
What do you say we get into the next segment, Kyle? What do we got on deck here?
Yeah, we're taking a little page out of the Hot Ones book, except not at all. The only similarity is hot is in the title. This is a hot take segment presented by Alliance Beverage. Shout out Dan's boss. Dan's boss's boss. But thanks to Alliance Beverage for making the trip possible. We're just gonna kind of shoot the shit here, round robin style. We can start with Mac, but we just got hot takes. We texted the fellas this week. This group of 4 of us this week, just basically saying, come up with some hot takes, and that's it. There's really not going to be a style here. There's no restrictions or rules on if it's a hot take prediction or a hot take from years past. It's whatever, hot takes. And we'll just talk about them.
Yeah, before we get into it, I'll do the official, check it off for the legalese here for Alliance. But this segment of the Kickstart Invitational podcast is sponsored by Alliance Beverage. We don't know if they sponsor, if they know. We don't know if they know that they sponsor this trip or this podcast. But Alliance Beverage is the local beer distributor here in Traverse City. They exist to help fulfill and enhance the quality of lives of their associates, Dan Henderson, customers, all the boys, suppliers, and the community here in Traverse City. Alliance is here to support the Kickstart Invitational Draft, the event, and the pursuit of great golf and great friends.
Shout out Alliance Beverage. Shout out Dan's boss. As always.
As
I like
always.
drinking their beers.
I actually think Alliance is hooking me up for a keg this summer for a bachelor party.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Can't
we
wait
have-
to slap
Wait a
that
second.
bag
Can we
around.
maybe talk about that for our trip?
Well, I'm gonna have to purchase this keg.
Yeah.
We could consider it. I don't know if that's
If one of those could just sneak away. Fall off a
listen,
truck.
the new Airbnb has more stairs than the last one. So if you want to carry that up some stairs, that's on you. Yeah, who do you want to go first, Kyle? Let's get some takes going.
Mac, I hate to put you on the spot as the guest, but you got to earn your seat at the table here. Give us a scorcher.
Off the rip?
I don't know.
I was gonna go mild.
We could start mild and go hot, I guess. We can take that from hot ones too.
Yeah, throw me a
Okay.
little ranch, little lemon pepper, something like
All
that.
right. I think that the whole low net thing is stupid and we shouldn't do it. I think we should do like a best round of the week or or a best shot of the trip.
Like another vote one, or just one singular round, like their score would win it for them.
Like-
Or do you think
Like
we'd vote on
like
it?
Kyle would, I feel like, obviously would have won that last year at Pilgrims.
Sure.
Like,
Leaving the unsung to somebody being a hero, maybe more emphasized is off the course.
That's probably true.
yeah, and I feel like anyone could win that. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Anyone, yeah.
I mean, we've talked.
But-
I don't know. We've talked as a committee about at least giving the award for low net. I think we said we'd still track it, maybe, but I don't know if we
Yeah.
landed anywhere.
I don't know if we
Um,
did either, but do you want to know what? I'll go first and say that I think that this is not that hot of a take. I think this is
It's
this is a good take. Yeah.
Well, I know
I-
some people really like low net and they track
I
it.
think the majority of the guys on the trip like being able to see the low net leaderboard.
Mhm.
I do agree that the just 4-round total low net being an award, we should potentially make a change to how that award is given. And
Yeah.
we have a committee have discussed potentials. I don't think we want to air anything out yet, but
Well, I'll say this: if you're watching this on YouTube, then throw your ideas down there in the comments. Let us know what you think about the low net competition, or if you have a suggestion on what we should do instead.
Boost my algorithm numbers. I like that.
Yeah, bump that shit up. Get that bell on.
I'll go next because this kind of coincides with Mac's take here. I think this will be the first year that a McPhail brother doesn't win low net. The year that we take it away as an award. I think to make the take a little warmer, I think Tricky wins it.
Wow, interesting.
It's not hot. It's not like saying I'm gonna win low net here.
do you
would
think
be
that
hot.
makes the take warmer? That the second best golfer will win low net?
So I either get to say the field or Tricky. Which one's warmer?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see where that
It went from mild to extra
Betting odds
sauce
wise, yeah, that parlay odds bumped significantly.
Yeah, I think Trix. I don't think he was thrilled with his last year performance. I think he's feeling the captain pressure a little bit. There's also like a percentage chance that one half of the McPhails isn't at the trip, which helps the odds for the field. And
I was gonna pull a quote out of the bottom half of the PGA Tours players rule book and say, or quote book and say, if you win low net this year, does it really count if the best players aren't even there?
Ooh, there might be an asterisk on that.
Is there going to be an asterisk if JMac isn't there? But also with the potential of the new low net format, I mean,
It's good. And so I think Max was mild. Yours is medium. I've got one related to low net as well.
Hmm.
I think might be a touch hotter. And I'm gonna say not only is Carter not gonna win low net, Carter's gonna finish outside the top 6 in low net this year.
Wow.
And if I can parlay that over,
You can
Let
parlay.
let him cook.
I'm gonna say that Dan Henderson will finish in the top 5 of low net in 2025.
to quote Bob Barker, overbid. Never going to happen.
The way I look at it, Carter's handicap is trending so far down, and with his current sort of, I don't know, employment up for debate, he could potentially not have the opportunity to practice nearly as much as he has in the last couple years going into the trip. So with his handicap still pretty low and him not potentially not able to play as much golf, I think that maybe could trend towards him not having as good of a year low net. Now that's not to say that he might not still go, 4-0 in this event, and the conductors could win this thing running away on his play, but I just don't think he'll finish it inside the top 6.
I don't hate it. I mean,
I
your
mean,
description almost made it slightly cooler. Because I'm kind of buying into this one.
if we're going, I'll go next because I have one that's about based on me and my play, and we'll just if you guys are gonna bury me, we'll just go right at it. I'm going to announce now that I'm going to shoot gross under par in one of these 4 rounds at the Kickstart this year.
I had you and Tricky gross under par at the Kickstart this year. I had both
I
captains
was
doing it.
talking to
I
Parker
have-
Mitchell last night, and I told him, I'm showing up as one of my golf season goals is to shoot an under par round at the Kickstart, and I'm hoping I go out there and it's a Esser and Liam against me and Joey, and I shoot 69 and just bury them, and our match is over on the 12th hole, and I'm on like 65 watch.
All right, I've got before we talk about that, going off of what Max said, I have an honorable mention take here that I don't think is that hot. He said that he thinks that both Carter and Tricky will go under par. One of my honorable mention takes was that 3 or more players were going to break par gross at the Kickstart this year. So throwing Carter, Tricky, and hopefully myself, maybe that doesn't feel nearly as hot anymore.
I don't know Vegas personally, but I'll bet they're writing it down right now that line's going to sit at 2.5.
Yeah, I think so. I think, if there ever were going to be maybe some sort of prop betting outlet associated with the Kickstart, that maybe they would set that line at 2.5.
All right, I got a hot one.
Okay.
After this year's Kickstart, I'll be the only 4-time champ in history.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
How many are there right now? 3? There's only 3 3-timers, right?
There's only gonna be one.
75% of this call.
So this prediction is that Mac is not on the conductors.
And you are not there. Or
Or
you're there and you're on the conductor.
All right, I've done a couple.
The prediction is that Brendan isn't a conductor.
And that the conductors don't win.
Yeah.
or Carter and Justin can't go, but Mac still wins somehow with not tricky.
And is on the conductors.
Well, if I'm not there, there probably won't be a conductors.
No.
Yeah.
What a fun take.
Wow.
I'm gonna T-box bandit and go next. Because I have
Stealing the
a
deal
little we just keep going back to hot ones. I got a little drummy still connected to the flat hot take. My hot take is that Connor Fedoruk and Justin McPhail will both attend the Kickstart Invitational, and I will be the one that misses.
No shot.
I'm gonna get signed to an East Coast Hockey League team that goes on a playoff run, defeat Connor Fedoruk in the first round, send him to the Kickstart, and then go on a Kelly Cup run and miss.
You
All right,
had
well,
me in the first half.
Yeah. A team that needs
Maybe
a goalie, I mean, probably not going to be
That's-
the best team.
I'm not
That's
saying
what I was saying.
I'm gonna be out there slanging the pill every game, but playoff comes around, everyone needs 3.
Oh,
I'm not even saying you can't do it. I just selfishly don't want you to.
Yeah,
I'm torn.
that would suck.
you're not
I'd love to
torn.
have Justin and Fetty here. That was like I was so excited for this take until the second half of the take wasn't as fun.
My connective tissue take, doubling up with this one, is that Michael Bomarito will return to the Kickstart in 2025.
Whoa.
Holy
No
shit.
chance. That's the hottest. That's the hottest take of all.
I know.
He's got
that
another
we-
surgery coming up, doesn't he?
Hey, I think we're gonna get a Brendan McLaren 72-hour call up from him.
You think so?
Even though we directly asked him to be an alternate, and he said no, I can't. There's been crazier things at the Kickstart.
That's true.
Flop, if you're listening to this, which I know you're not,
No chance.
but if you're listening, text us in the chat with your favorite Fortnite skin. We just want to hear you. We want to hear from you a little bit.
That bullet magnet red line.
Oh, I have a take. We're going to take a step back because I feel like we're going to blow our load here too soon. I think whatever
Reggie Jackson.
I
That's a
think
deep cut.
I think whoever guesses correctly on Cody and Esser will win the Kickstart. I think if you think last year was a fluke and their year one performance was more what they're going to be, probably you're drafting them both and you win it.
I like that, Kyle.
If last year is more or less what they are, then that's fine. I don't know as if getting the pair will be as fruitful as year one for them.
I can piggyback off you on one of my mild ones because I said prior year performance doesn't mean shit. So
Yeah, I think that is kind of a hot. It's mild, but it might be kind of hot. That take. The draft always does seem to, everybody takes a lot of the previous year's performance into account, and I think you're probably right. Maybe it didn't quite pay off last year with some of the draft picks. We saw a first year player played potentially the best out of everyone. So.
Yep.
And Preston was a last round pick, which still makes no sense.
Yeah.
One of the more bizarre slips I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Jay, you got any takes that you're itching at here?
Yeah, I got a couple that are course centric. If you guys want to hover around there with me for a couple here, if you got any, get them on deck. But the first round this year is going to be at the Mines again, of course, and I have a hot take that says only one person in the entire group is going to break 80 at the Mines this year. That I think the course is going to be playing tough, and you know nobody's gonna. There's only going to be one guy to break 80. Gross.
Oh.
Gross. There's some good players still in this group, but if you look in the past, either the past 2 years at least, there's been 3 people that have broken 80, and in the first year, 2 people broke 80 out of only 8 players. So I think only one's going to do it this year. We're playing it just 2 days before the West Michigan Amateur again, which we did in year one, and whew,
Year
the
one, we
course
got
was it was like hitting into this desk right here on that
we
first
got our
hole.
pellets kicked in. Year one.
On hole 3 or 1, I think I chipped onto the green like 5 times.
Yeah. There was some ping pong being played on the third green. They were firm and fast.
There's
Whew.
going to
That
be
hole's such a bitch.
16 double bogeys in pockets on hole 1.
Yeah.
That's a
'Cause we're
it's a
gonna
tough
get- we're
it's
gonna
a
get that
tough
front right-
course.
We're going to get that front right pin position
It's tough. It's
on a
tough.
cereal bowl.
Those first 3 holes are just the biggest kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
I don't think 2's that bad.
For a righty,
Yeah. If
Until
you're
you
a
hit your
lefty who
ball off
fades
that
it,
electrical,
not
that
fun.
electrical box, and everyone's going like this, 12-gauge shotgun going off between all the groups.
Yeah.
I had my belly button on the turf.
and then
You guys
heaven
have any?
forbid- Oh, what?
Go
that?
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, and you're on tee box number 2 as well, and you got the guys on 1. Somebody hit it just in front of those trees, and there's a chance for a little sprayage right at them. It's
Yeah.
that first
Oh, yeah.
3 holes is tough.
It's a war zone.
Gotta have your head on a
Yes.
swivel.
The nerves don't help at all either. I know we're on a buddy's golf trip. Like it's not supposed to be a big deal, but your heart gets going a little bit when Carter starts blaring that remix of the Star Spangled Banner.
You got Big Red screaming at us like we're not supposed to be on the tee box. That doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Are you guys supposed to be here? Yeah, we have the next 4 tee times. Yeah, I don't think so.
Do you guys have any course related takes? Because I got 2 more here that are course specific.
Roll them.
Mine's course adjacent, but I think yours are more topic focused. So you roll them.
Yeah, so writing in conjunction with that, I'll give a hot take that in fact the Mines is the best course on the trip.
Yeah, that one's warm. I'm sweating eating that wing.
I think in my opinion it's
What's that, Cart?
I have the Mines in 2.
Look, I can respect that.
I
I
have
can
the Mines
respect
in
that.
2, and if I was given the choice to play one round at one of the 3 we've played, just for funsies, I would pick my 3rd favorite course.
Okay. Okay.
I love the Mines though. It's just good, clean family fun.
There ain't nothing
then-
clean about the Mines. That place.
No, it's
Dude,
not
you
good.
gotta-
Down with the
Spits you
brown
out.
at the Mines.
It's not clean. It's not family oriented at all. In fact,
If you're not 10 minutes, if you're not 10 minutes above pace, they're spitting at you at the turn.
they got the whips out. They got and you're just sitting there like go out there and stand on number 3. You can't even stand up on that green. It's so slippery.
Yeah, hey pal, me and my best ball partner, we're 28 over through 9. You think we want to be playing this slow? I'm down 15 golf balls.
It takes a long time to hit that many shots, I'm telling you.
I'm trying to get a 7-iron to stop on a driveway.
I'm leaking something here with my next take. So if you guys will bear with me, maybe don't spew it into the chat right away. Give it a day or two to comment on this one. But all of those question marks in the chat for round 3, those can represent Stoughton Bray, which will officially be the 4th course on the trip. And my hot take related to this is that Stoughton Bray will become the consensus favorite course on the trip.
Wow.
National Course of the Year.
Yeah, National Golf Course of the Year award in 2021.
Wow.
You say consensus? Would you
I
say
think-
right now Pilgrims is the consensus?
Yeah, I think Pilgrims far and away is people's favorite on the trip. Maybe not the favorite on this podcast amongst the people on this podcast, but I think, if you ask the group, more than 50% of them would say Pilgrims. And I think that if you asked them a year from, on May 17th of 2026, I think they'll tell you that Stoughton Bray is their fave.
I'm so
I don't
excited
know.
for this course.
I've never played it either, but I think it might show out for the fellas.
I'm excited to play it. I'm pumped.
I'm super jacked up for it.
Yeah.
It looks sweet, and it looks, from my dumb point of view, it looks different than all the other courses that we have on the trip, I feel.
Looks like it fits the Kickstart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it maybe on this very podcast here, but it looks like an elevated, a little bit more extreme, a little bit more refined version of Diamond Springs. Maybe not quite as friendly. It's got a little more teeth to it. It's got some real rough. It's not one cut rolled into, rolling around everywhere the way that we kind of appreciate Diamond Springs for, but fairly open, not a ton of trees in your way, and a lot of undulating fairways and greens, which I think is reminiscent of Diamond Springs.
And for those concerned about the drive, we actually Google mapped it from the Airbnb. It is an hour and 7 minutes. I think it's like 38 minutes from Diamond Springs where we're at, and I think it's 47 minutes from Pilgrim. So it's not that much farther than the other courses that we've hit before.
You won't even notice. If you're sitting in the back seat, you won't even finish one more beer probably. Same number.
That gets me to my next.
Carter just missed 3 turns instead of 2.
I will defend my honor. I did miss the turn for Diamond Springs, and the discussion in my car was, why didn't Preston turn there? We passed the turn to see up over the next hill Preston turning around and went, wow, come on.
True.
That was one of the turns that Carter had missed on that trip. He had missed multiple more that he will not defend his honor on because there's no defense.
Couple exits you missed.
Yeah.
1 exit and 1 driveway.
Jay made a comment there at the end. It leads into one of my warmer takes, I'd say. There's going to be more beers consumed on the course this year than each of the last 3 years combined.
Ooh.
Combined? Oh.
We kind of got active in year 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just looking at
the whole fifth went down at Diamond Springs.
There is going to be an entire one more entire group of 4 out there. So
yeah.
Good one.
And Liam will probably drink 8 around, based on
Give
the
or take.
pre-scale.
But it's a little early in the morning, Bloody Marys and screwdrivers, transfusions, those don't count towards beers counted.
No, but I look at the little sheets here. A mid to late morning Diamond Springs, a near noon Stoughton Bray tea time, 1 o'clock Pilgrims. I know we got to drive after, but that front nine can use a couple beers.
Yeah.
I would say
In the mines, you're making the turn past noon. You're gonna need a beer for that round.
Numb the
one.
pain, yeah.
I will say potentially offsetting that will be knowing that there will be more beers likely drank at the Airbnb would potentially hold people off from drinking more at the course, where they'll be like, I'll just have the same, 3 beers per round that I usually have, because when we get back to the Airbnb, I'm going to drink more.
That's why I think that might be a hot take, is because I think a very, an ice cold take would be to say that there will be more beers drank at the Airbnb this year, with 1 extra day, 4 more people, and morning tea times with less things to do in the afternoon, less scheduled events.
No double header.
No scary double header eliminating 2 days of drinking.
Right.
My favorite thing that we've ever done. I'm so excited.
It might stink.
No, I'm excited.
I might not know what team I'm on.
I'm gonna go with a Cool Ranch Dorito take, and say Chase Bierbauer should not have given Preston the 10-footer to tie on 18 and Kickstart 2. Should have let him hit it, potentially miss it. Chase gets the full point and goes 0-4 to 4-0 and potentially wins MVP over Justin McPhail. But in a selfless move, falls on his sword, takes the tie, and wins the Kickstart Invitational.
That is a hot take.
I think that's a pretty hot take. I think that goes against a lot of what we view Chase as, as a person, that to think that he would care that much about his own personal record. Now, if he had won his singles match the year before and was still undefeated in singles going into that, then maybe I could see him not giving that. But that's that's a pretty, that's weird. That's a Ashton Kutcher butterfly effect type shit right there.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
There should be way more group showers at the Kickstart.
Okay.
Come on. I agree. I'm all for that's what they say, that's good camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Camaraderie?
Camaraderie. We have good camaraderie.
What did he say?
Hey, that's a deep cut. If you don't get the reference, that's on you. We're talking about guys getting in there and getting clean without sacrificing group giggles.
Or hot water for the other people.
Saving hot water, there's another plus.
Potentially, although
I don't know. These guys are in there for a long time.
Yeah, so you could make the argument that, a group shower keeps you in there for so long that it's worse than 4 individual showers.
I will say the benefit also is more beers drank, which goes right into Kyle's ideologies. The group shower bog rattle is diabolical.
It's insane.
The fake, I Gronk spiked my glass bottle in year 2, the first year at the new Airbnb, was hilarious. And just, guys from different teams getting in there and building those relationships even farther was awesome. And I'd like to see more of it.
Yeah.
Jay, do you
I
think
can
do you think
respect it.
Do you think this is why every time we need a sub, Carter just recommends somebody from Ferris State Hockey just to add to the shower?
It's potential. There's potential. Although sheepishly, I don't know what the shower and bathroom situation is at the upcoming Airbnb, but
I don't
that'll
either.
be a tough one to follow through on if they're just sort of single showers.
There's no double spa wall bang wand
Yeah.
action going on at the new Airbnb,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That is the one area we are taking a step backwards in.
Sure.
Is it the only area, though, that we're taking a step back in?
The stairs.
Good point.
The stairs.
could
Other than
be
that,
it.
everything else is a step up.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, I'm not. Never mind.
We've given away too many hints as it is.
You might have to be a stair master. You master
I'm
the
the master of the
stairs.
stairs.
I got one. I think it's my hottest take. And then we can all rattle off if we have any honorable mentions or just scorchers at the end here. But
I have
Well,
a
hold
scorcher.
on. How many do you guys have left? Because I have 2 left also.
I have 2 left.
I have a
one.
couple that wouldn't need a ton of conversation, I don't think. But one
Okay.
that's a scorcher.
Sure.
I don't know how much conversation will be around this one either. But I think the winning team will have won the Kickstart before we even get to Pilgrims. I think it's already decided at Stoughton Bray.
I had this as an honorable mention as well.
Yeah,
That this
I-
would be the first year of a blowout.
I couldn't go that far, but one of my final 2 is that the winning team's going to win by more than 6 points.
All right, so not that hot of a take. But
No, but
Yeah,
I think
extreme hot take.
extremely
week.
hot to say that it's over before there's still 8 points available. So what you're saying is that those first 3 rounds are going to be at least 3-1, 3-1, and 3-1.
That's hot.
And that still wouldn't even do it. It'd have to be 4-0, 4-0, 3-1. You have to get to 10.5 points.
And there's
win.
8 available on the last day.
Right.
Yeah, it's hot.
I'll hold by it.
So
Yeah, I like-
And
been
there's
so-
4, there's
we've been
4
so
points
lucky.
available in each session.
right.
Yeah.
So there's 12 and then 8 more.
Yeah, so realistically, you'd have to have a 4-0, a 3.5 to half, and a 3-1 at the very least. And it'd have to go the conductor's way. That'd be 10.5 points to 1.5.
I forgot about the math when I made this take. But either way, we've been so lucky
Yeah.
with how close our trips have been. It just feels like we're due for a blowout. I don't know which way necessarily. I won't make that prediction. No reason to believe why it wouldn't be the conductors in theory, but it just feels like we're due for just a relaxed Pilgrims round.
I think you're probably right. I think it's not a hot take to say that we're due for a blowout. It would be a hot take to say that it's going to be virtually over or mathematically over by then. But it might be a hot take to say that the cup will come down to the final 2 matches on the course too. That might be a pretty hot take to say that we'll get that close of a competition 4 years in a row.
It would be.
Give us another one, Kyle.
I mean, I have a couple honorable mentions here. Defending my boy Liam. Liam will finish in the top half of the low net rankings, and Parker will finish in the bottom half of the low net rankings.
Yes.
Little karma
Better not.
Karma.
for Parker's just slander of
Oh, yeah.
Liam
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Refusal
last
to
one-
go back on his word.
Huh?
And Parker's refusal to go back on his word.
Dude, just
Great.
continuing to dig was unbelievable.
And poor Nate just sitting there, not on the board.
Oh,
And the guy getting picked ahead of him is getting painted as useless.
Yeah,
Nate
not
was,
e- not
Nate was
probably
in the
not
cup
even shouldn't
chair.
even be on the trip. He said.
Nate was in
Yeah.
the cup chair for a spanking.
He was watching Liam just getting 50 Shades of Grey
he was in the cuck chair with a blindfold on.
and his AirPods in.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just he knows what's going on, but he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
My last, I don't even know if this is a hot take, but Dan will finally win the Unsung Hero Award. That's the last take I got.
I like it.
Yeah,
He has
that's it.
potential.
For sure. For sure. I
All right.
think.
I have one to piggyback next off that one.
Okay.
Rattle off the rest of your honorables cards.
Go ahead.
My one, as we talk about Dan, it leads into this one. My hot take is that in the rest of the Kickstart, in all of the 100 years to go, no one will ever Chundy alone. Someone will always be there stick and step.
Yeah.
Brendan's
Is that a
considering it right
challenge?
now.
Do you think somebody will try and sneak off to Chundy alone then?
We won't let that happen.
The
No,
embarrassment,
the signs are all
embarrassment
there.
that I felt not being able to be there with Dan.
You know
I
what
was
would hurt
potentially
though?
more than Dan actually throwing up.
What about one of the morning ones when they first get into the bathroom?
We are
We don't
getting
know.
Sometimes the guy with the ball has to call the wall. Someone's
that's
got to be
true.
like, "Hey, help!" This sneaking off, it's in bad taste.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's in the rules, isn't it?
yeah. If it's not, it should be.
Yeah. I gotta take that up with the board. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on your docket, Mac, as the Players Association representative.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the agenda for our next players rep meeting.
All right. I got one final one, and it's that Nate or Joey will win MVP this year.
Whoa.
fucking not Liam.
No.
We heard about Liam's golf game. He's got no chance.
So
Yeah.
do you think
Nothing against
paired
Liam.
with that?
but-
So they're going to win MVP, one of them, which will mean they'll definitely win Rookie of the Year,
Yeah,
which would mean
sure.
they probably played well enough to potentially win the low net or whichever
A sweep.
choose
Yeah, you know you call
whichever
that?
one.
The Triple Crown.
That is the Triple Crown. I don't think the voters would vote them for unsung hero. They are almost by definition the opposite of unsung. They are
I
fully
don't
sung.
know, though. Like, if Joey comes in, scraps out a couple wins, Chundy's with somebody, maybe he cooked up a real good dinner one night. I don't know, he fixed Dan's yips off
Or
the
Nate.
tee. I was using Joey as an example. They both could do it.
Just saying,
So.
we've been on a theme of just leaving Nate out.
And,
Yeah, that's
But-
on me. That's on me.
and Joe has gone on record saying he's going to artificially inflate his handicap. If he comes in, if he's what, a 6 or 7 right now, if he shows up as a 10 or 11,
I mean, I think
And played
potentially
as a
that
seven.
was supposed to be off record when he said that, but it is now on record.
It is now.
100% off the record. If he wants to defend his honor in the comments below, let him. He's made it this far.
Also, I don't know if we've said it on the pod yet. Shout out Dan. He went to Arizona a couple of weeks ago, texted the board and was like, "Hey, I'm going on this trip to Arizona. The courses I'm playing are tough and my handicap's high, or low. Like, I don't want you to think I'm just plugging in bullshit scores here to boost the handicap." You're like, Dan, you're good.
Yeah. Brendan.
He was playing a par 3 course.
Yeah, but
Hey.
it's rated. It's rated, and they're not. I mean, yeah,
Maybe
he's
he
gonna
was
have a
down
low
hard.
gross
I was
score.
tracking you.
He's gonna have a low gross score.
We were
But
playing Fortnite, and Mac, while in the middle of a build battle, was like, "Ooh, Dan, birdie 11." Like, Mac, throw me a mini.
Jay, any hot takes left over?
I got one more. I don't know how hot it is. I think, medium to hot. Preston and the Net Eagles should have won the Kickstart in the year that they came so close. If
Shut up.
let's just say that Chase gave that putt and the final score ended up being whatever it was, 9-7 or 9-8 or whatever. They were a point or a point and a half away from taking it. I just think if they just had to play a little bit better. They were right there, and I don't think coming down the stretch, it didn't seem like the match was that close. Like last year, the final score ended up being 10-6, and at one point, it felt like the entire thing could have flipped on its head. But the Net Eagles were right there by the time all the matches were finished, and I don't think that it ever felt like that they had it in their hands. I think if that match at Diamond Springs between Preston and Trick against Kyle and Dan goes the other way, just that one singular hole really goes the other way, we could be sitting here having a completely different conversation. I don't know. Maybe that's not very.
I like the thought of that last sentence though.
Maybe it's not a very hot take, but
We would have had
Inflate my
Preston
ego.
versus Chase, and then potentially Chase versus Trick.
well, would we have had Preston versus Chase?
We would likely have had Preston versus Chase,
Or
and then
Justin.
probably Chase or Preston versus you, because that year we asked Chase, you were still out on being the captain.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I wasn't on the board yet, and I know my first push on the board was I'll take off all of Justin's responsibilities if we can get this guy to be fucking captain.
That's true.
I have
What a fun with it.
my final one, and it's going to be hard for us to debate because 3 have been one way and 1 has been the other. I would say it's more fun to be a draft eligible player than to be the captain.
I love being in the draft.
Yeah, we'd have to run that by the other guys that have been captains. I think that Chase really, really enjoyed being the captain. It is a lot of pressure, but I guess it depends, are you having fun being along for the ride, or are you having fun having the control and being in the competition?
I mean, I just think
for
about
6 months.
Like draft night.
Yeah.
As the captain is hell. Like, it sucks. It's not nearly as fun as it seems like everyone else is having, just sitting on the couch, waiting for their name to get called. You're in the war room fighting for your life for all the players are good and you want them all on your team. And you're like, how do I pick Esser or Cody? Like they're the same. Like how do I get them both? And it's like, your mind is going a mile a minute and you think that every round is going to be make or break it for the tournament, when the reality is it's just not true. It's going to be fun no matter who's on your team.
Yeah.
Well, the other piece is Max only experienced this once, and Mac and Jay have just been auto conductor picks here now for Jay for 3 years, Mac for
Mac
2.
Mac wasn't auto last year.
No, that's what I'm saying. He got last year.
Yeah.
He was a a normal draftee with the rest of us, but we won one years before.
I would say in the two
the draft
previous
in
years.
general has changed immensely since year 1 to now. I mean, just the amount of players we got is so much different. So
Yeah, give or take twice as many.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I love it.
Depending on how you count. Yeah.
Year one,
now.
the teams were like made before we drafted.
The only
Pretty much,
only, like pick in that year's draft is am I gonna pick my cousin or am I gonna pick Michael Bomarito? And I stared my cousin in the eyes and said, I want flop.
We might have to do a deep dive on the last 25% of each draft and see what happened, because it seems like Carter has just nailed fucking home runs in those last couple rounds with the guys that he's gotten and how they've performed. But
I mean, one year I got him given to me.
Yeah.
Here's the scraps. And I said, fine. Wanted these guys anyways.
Tonight we ride. Look, I got another question for you guys. Not hot or not a hot take type of thing, but if you guys each had 10 rounds left to play on this earth, they're gonna be at the Kickstart courses. How would you divvy them up? How many rounds at each course?
Based off the 3?
Yeah, or 4. And if you haven't,
well,
you could throw Stoughton in there, I guess, if you want. No, let's do it out of the 3. Don't include that one.
I would do 3 at the Mines, 3 at Diamond Springs, 3 at Pilgrims, 1 at Khaki. No, I'd probably go 3, 3, and 4.
4 at Pilgrims?
Yeah.
In what order?
The Kickstart order, baby.
That's the only
I
order.
have an idea in my head.
I do too. I'm curious to see if you and I have the same idea, Carts.
I want 2 at the Mines, 2, or I want 3 at Pilgrims, and I want 5 at Diamond Springs, and I want to play Diamond Springs doubleheader style. What? I want to drive to GR. I want to play the Mines. Next day I want to go double header at Diamond Springs, go to Pilgrims, and then do it again. And then on my way home, have my victory lap on Diamond Springs.
Just soak it all in.
I'm curious what Kyle says here.
Hit stingers through those center line trees and a big old driver on 15 and just ride off into the sunset to whatever chamber I got to go in to beat my demise. I guess I don't die. I just I'm playing them.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just play pickleball.
I'm thinking about it in the order that I'd play them. I'd go Mines, Diamond Springs, Pilgrims. That's my first 3. I'd go Mines. I would do a double day at a double round at Diamond Springs. Get back to the 36 holes, kill myself on that last 18. But we'd figure it out. Pilgrims, of course. And then just 1, 2, 3 at the last 3 there.
Pilgrims, Mines, Diamonds, and ride off on Pilgrims. That 18th hole at Pilgrims to play that as your last hole.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what if that's the last golf hole you play in your life and you
hit in the water?
You slightly, hit it a little high on the face with your driver and dunk it in the water. Isn't that going to leave a bad taste in your mouth?
I'm re-teeing
Maybe you played Pilgrims that last round in the year 1 format where we teed off on 10.
Maybe. Although, maybe this is a hot take, but I think the 9th hole at Pilgrims might stink.
Ninth
I don't
hole.
think that's a hot.
It's
take.
just it's
Oh,
just like a.
It does
and then the
stink.
green is like on like a.
Like, I feel a little
Drop-off
bit bad,
shoot.
but it's kind of like they had 17 other holes, and they're like, we need a way to get from over here to over there.
I think 17 and a half. I think the first half of that hole is like fine, very Pilgrims, and then that last half of that hole is mid.
Yeah, because it does have
It's
that
weird.
big bunker on the hill,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mhm.
kind of fun.
Yeah, that's I think that's the only hole I don't like there.
The 9th?
Yeah.
Still like it, but it's something that that second half of that hole feels like something I'd see at Fenton Farms and not Pilgrim's
What-
Run.
Would Pilgrim's Run be better if the second hole was the first hole and the first hole was the 18th hole?
No.
And you end on one?
No.
I think one is a great hole. I think 18 is.
One is a spectacular hole, but it's not
Mhm.
better than 18.
Right.
Well, actually, it might be better than 18, but 18 as the 18th is better
Yes.
than as the 7th, if it were the 17th.
I actually agree completely with Jay there.
I feel like at the front of the green on number 9, that should be a bunker, not just a grass bunker.
Yeah.
I feel like that would make that hole so much better. Have a big deep bunker right there in the front.
I just assumed it was. There used to be a regular bunker.
Yeah, it's got maybe the thickest grass I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Thanks
texted
for
the
humoring
chat.
me. Yeah.
I texted the chat and asked for hottest takes in regards to the Kickstart. I don't know if you guys saw it, hoping for some fucking comments, and one fucking comment. How about you guys
Just
text in the
one.
chat?
One would be good.
We did get one. We got one. But more
Okay.
than like, it would have been a nice, fun thing at the end of this episode to look back at the conversation the fellas had while we were chatting about the same
Yeah.
thing. We got one. Shout out Tricky, captain of the Fornados. Clearly captain for a reason. And I don't know if you guys saw his take, but I love it. Did you guys see it?
I just looked at it.
He
Foolish.
said Kyle will beat Jay gross in a round.
Like,
Yeah,
by the
Justin
end of the
gets a
Kickstart,
If Justin gets
Like-
a call on the third hole that his child is being born and has to take net doubles the rest of the way in.
Exactly.
That's
just
the only
it's-
way.
Yeah, it's just a little. It's doubtful.
Or Justin, like
The reason that I'm not picking my brother.
maybe Justin's getting out of the cart and he tears his ACL.
He's playing with Fetty,
He'd still
And
beat
Fetty's
me
all-
with a torn ACL.
and Fetty's golf bag is bursting at the seams of found golf balls. One rolls out under Jay's ankle and he gives himself a Kevin Ware. It would still be close.
He'd for sure still beat me. I don't have any doubts.
What about a broken wrist?
I don't think it'd matter.
Shout out
We are
our
getting- we are
mascot for
getting
the
our
pod.
fabled Granger appearance on the pod. This has always been a pro Granger podcast. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention her. So there you have it.
Well,
What's the hottest take of the night? Non-tricky division.
Kyle will be Justin Groves.
yeah. I think Carter had one that was scorching. I don't remember it now.
Yeah, it was something crazy though.
That both me and Fetty will be on the Kickstart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
he won't.
And he won't.
If I'm out and Justin's in, do we default Justin as the captain of the conductors to carry the torch?
There's
don't
still
think that's
too much
fair to
danger
the-
for me to miss.
I also don't know.
It's
if
probably
fair
gonna
the
go
future of
to
this.
Yeah, who would your guys'
It'd have to be Mac,
alternate
I think.
captain be?
I
It'd
mean,
have
I'm
to
in
be
the,
Mac,
I'm
and
in,
he'd have to call the team the Fun Ductors.
We'd have to
Pine-
take
Carter's
we'd
the
have-
Patriot. Carter's the Patriots, where it's like the Patriot way or the highway. Mac will have a little bit of fun, like Philly.
saying the conductors aren't fun.
I just think Mac will run a little bit more of a loose organization, is all.
during the draft, I got an AirPod in, carts on the horn.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the press box in Wheeling, Virginia. All right, Mac, who's on the board?
I'm giving them all the wrong names.
He's doing the tricky. Yeah, we got to pick Cody. Thinking that it was Esser. Chase making the draft pick and Trick going. I forgot that's who that was.
Yeah.
Anything else, fellas?
No, thanks for hopping on, Mac. Thanks for bringing the heat.
Thanks for having me, fellas. It's a great time as always.
Always.
Look forward to the next one. Like and comment, fellas.
Yeah,
And text in the goddamn chat.
yeah. Text in the chat. It don't cost nothing.
Oh.
Well, depends on your plan.
Unmute the chat.
Yeah, there's a good start.
Yeah,
That's a real good start.
I'm not.
All right.
All right, fellas. That's it for me.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you guys joining, Mac. It's always a pleasure. Love having you on. OG day one type of guy. Mac, you texted me before the show and said you had a joke prepared. I guess run us through what that joke is.
I had a joke prepared.
Yeah, it's about those